human fingerprint, this thing that was undeniably a result of our consumption. And as I started to think about it, I was like, well, how do we get people to engage with this? What would be the right way to do it? And this crazy idea of saying, why don't we build a boat out of the very material that's ending up in our ocean? So the plastic water bottle became the symbol for that. And that's where it just became a design project. And after 3.5 years, we managed to build a boat made entirely of plastic bottles, 12,500 plastic bottles from the trash in San Francisco, and sail across the Pacific. I guess my story was, I was just a kid at school who was always looking out the window and being curious. And I found myself actually on an adventure in 2004. I'd previously been training as a naturopath in natural medicine and started to realize you are what you eat and you are what you breathe. And then as I was on this adventure, I started to realize that this was an amazing medium to educate people about the way that our world is and what we're up to. And traveling through those environments, you realize you have a privilege to kind of come back and explain those stories. And you can either explain them in the context of what you've achieved against nature, or you can explain them in the context of understanding and exploring what it is that we travel through and educating people about those environments. And that's really where it started for me, was to use adventure to educate and inform and inspire people to go out and become their own explorers, to feel it, to understand it, to respect it and protect it. Yeah, the aim is not reached yet. Literally, it's like, you've got to aim, someone said to me, you never get there. I said, what do you mean? Well, you never get there being where you think you want to be. I mean, this is an ongoing goal, I guess, to continually have projects that are inspiring and informing and having fun, making people enjoy the relationship that they have with these issues versus being told off or told they can't do things, and really inspiring people to show them that there are solutions that can enhance your life, So it's... I feel like baby steps. One day I may get there, but not for a while. I say nowadays makes me sound really old. Nowadays you have Instagram and Twitter and all the other mediums like Skype. Skype has, I think, changed the way that we as adventurers can communicate now with individuals. I mean, we can be in the field and send imagery and have live feeds and live chats, whereas years ago, people would go off for years on end, and you wouldn't know what was going to be the end result until they came back. Now we get to sort of interact with an audience while we're on the adventure, so that's really exciting.
So you said before that plastic is not the enemy. What's your opinion of plastic?
I think there's certain plastics that when used irresponsibly, like the plastic bag or the plastic water bottle or styrofoam cups or the swizzle stick in your drink at night, your cocktail, those types of plastics I think need to be removed. They're dumb uses of plastic. But for your microphone, for the camera, for the sign behind me, or for things that are going to have a reuse, we have to reimagine how we look at the material and say, maybe it's not the enemy. It's our understanding of how to use it, how to design for it, how to dispose of it, and how to reuse it that is the problem. And that's a reframing of how we design and how we think of what I call sort of cradle to cradle, philosophy around design. So designing for the end life as much as designing for the start of its life. It was probably 2006, and I got back from the North Pole, and I was thinking about an issue that we could connect people with, that they would actually have a real tangible sort of connection with in their everyday life. So when we talk about the climate, we think about something that is in units of carbon, or we think about it in solar kilowatts of energy. And it's quite intactile, and that people can't really engage with it. So I wanted an issue that we could raise the profile on, that people could go, oh, I can do something about that. I create, a waste footprint every day, and I can do something about that. And that's effectively where it started, because I wanted the adventure to have really clear solutions for the people who are viewing the adventure. I think the conclusion is that we have a big list of problems. We're very good at talking about the problems, but we have a big list of solutions, and we're not very good at talking about them. And if anything, it's about using the kind of horizontal approach to solving these problems, and also saying, we talk about it in a global context, but really it's the local impact that we can all have that will have this ripple effect to create a global impact. Thank you.